And so they sent me to Europe. We went on a big convoy. The ship was His Majesty's ship, Queen something, Queen Victoria, I think it was the name of the ship. And it rolled very easy. We were in the middle of maybe 100 ships all around us. And our ship was strictly men, and we slept in hemlocks, about 4 high, 4 or 5 high. Just you only had about that much room between you and the top. But I was sick. I hate the ocean. Because when you first go in, they ask you what branch of service you want to join. And I didn't. I refused the Navy, I refused the Marines, I refused the Air Force. I wanted in the Army. So I've been saying. I was sick all through the trip. And if I wound up in the hospital there, that I remember. And then we landed in England. I think it was Liverpool. And we went down on the Bristol Channel. I was there for a while. And on the channel, you would see boats coming and going, a lot of ships. And one day, like, we saw many, more than usual. I said, something is cooking. All these ships coming, all these little ports, picking up stuff. And sure enough, one night they came around 2 or 3 in the morning. They called my name. And they told me, says, back up, you're going. I don't know where or why. We were 12 in a tent on the Bristol Channel there. And then from there, the next day, we had, camp. There was a lot of tents. There was a lot of excitement. I didn't know nobody, I had no friends, no nothing. Because all my company left, and I was just a substitute. I had a great meal, great breakfast. And that day we had a meal with everything you can think of. And I says, man, this is my last supper. That night, I was called again. They said, you have to replace men who were sick in a certain outfit. They didn't even tell me, but anyway, that's the way I figured. And I went on a truck, from the truck at night, on a ship. Didn't know what it was all about, but you could tell the equipment that they gave us that it was for something important. And when we got on, we got all fully equipped, ammunition and all. Then we went down. Alongside the ship there was cords like little steps. And we climbed down, and there was a LCI filling up with men. And of course we knew where we were headed for. Everybody was quiet. We were all starting to think. Many things go in your mind. Well, we got to the landing point, and we were not the first ones. There were plenty of bodies all over the place. We were in the water. I unloaded everything I had, and luckily, for some reason, I was along the side of the boat. And the freight came down, and almost in the end, and I stayed to the side as much as possible because I've seen and heard bullets going by. Of course, there was shelling and everything going by. You heard all kinds of noise. And when I got down off the rack, I jumped to the right. I was up to the water, But I kept going right. I says, I don't want to stay with the bunch. I want to be by myself. Maybe that's what saved me. And I got rid of my equipment. I just kept my rifle and a band of bullets. And I got to the shore. I just laid down. I says, I ain't going any further. I was scared. It's hard. It's hard to explain. But all I did was crawl. Crawl and listen to the sounds. Of course, you hear the machine guns and bullets that go over your head. If you ever heard a bullet go over your head, you know that it snaps. Sounds like a quick firecracker going. And I kept just standing still and watching play dead. And when I heard that there was not too much noise, I would lift up and run 3 or 4 steps and hit the ground again. Of course, there was moaning and guys all over the place. And some officer would always say, get going, don't lay there, go ahead. And to myself, and when I was possible, I would say, you go first, I'm right behind you. Well, we got to the bank where I was looking, and I said I could get to that little hill. It's enough for me to hide behind. And there, more or less, we spent the night. And the following day, the same thing, kept forward and forward. But it became all hedgerows all around, and a prairie in the middle. And heck, you didn't know which way to go, because the men who went in the middle, they sure got it. And of course, there was all that night you were scared. And once in a while, you would hear at a distance a click, click. It says, we ain't got no click, clicks with us. And found out that it was the paratroopers who landed, which helped us a lot. But at the same time, they flooded a lot of that area for us to not be able to go through. We went by, I didn't go to no cities. I never had the fortune of being inside of a city or a village or a town. I was in the outskirts, but there was a couple of homes, and we went by, and then they opened up behind us. The 3 guys in front of me hit the ground, so I did too. As I hit the ground with my rifle, the bullet came and hit me in the arm. There I stayed and didn't move no more. And the other ones in front of me didn't move, so I guess they were dead. And I found out later that's where it was. And from there I went back to England.